Everybody's quiet, so we'll get started. Welcome each of you to the October 15, 2018 Wilson County Commission meeting. We're excited to have you with us today and invite you back any opportunity that you have to be with us. This time, I'll introduce Commissioner Bishop and Commissioner Walker for our prayer and pledge tonight.
Let's please bow.
Please rise.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're so thankful to be here tonight. Thank you for watching over us. Remember the storms that we have had, and we pray that you will be with those people that are still hurting. We pray that you will be with hurting people everywhere, even in our own number of our commission. Be with those that are unable to be with us tonight. And Father, help us to do everything that we do here tonight with a Christian perspective. Give us the courage to do what we need to do as the county, because we have a lovely county with good people. And we just thank you so much for all the blessings that you give us every day as we conduct county business tonight. Give us the wisdom to do what we need to do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join with me as we welcome Miss Kathy Leedy. She is the State of Tennessee American Legion's Auxiliary President, as she leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. You will press your yes on your panel to record your presence at tonight's meeting. Commissioner Benada is still out with her back. Please record. Got 24 present and 1 absent. This time, a historian moment by Commissioner Jerry McFarland.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. For the new commissioners that are here, we've been doing brief moments about the history of our county and what's taken place in years past. Prior to the summer, when we all got off and were campaigning, et cetera, we took a break from that, and we're going to start back doing them quarterly now. We were finishing up a short lecture on the Tennessee maneuvers that took place here, and we have a little film clip that we're developing, and I'll explain that. What exactly is the Tennessee maneuver? Some have heard, some have not. The Tennessee maneuvers was when 850,000 soldiers came through Middle Tennessee in 1943, 44, and the early part of 1945. Now think about that. Lebanon was 2,900 people, and Wilson County was just about 11,000. And we had 850,000 soldiers over 2.5 years come through this area. 25 out of 94 Army divisions that was going to Europe to fight the Nazis came through right here. We're going to debut a film, if you will, on November the 8th at the Expo Center. And that film will be about the Tennessee maneuvers experience. We have a short film clip tonight that I want to show you. This film clip is made at Averett Ferry. If you don't know where Averett Ferry is, it's about 9 miles as the crow flies from here. It's where 23 soldiers got into an assault boat in the middle of the night to cross the Cumberland River. The boat capsized. Star in this little clip is Kenny Rich's older B.J. Rich, and with that, let's show our film clip, please.
I don't have access to it, Jerry. It's not doing whatever it needs to do.
Technical difficulties. We'll roll through. We'll keep working through our
Okay.
agenda, and we'll come back to it, Commissioner.
That'll work. You have a little card on your,
Ms. Teresa, as soon as you get it up and get it going, let us know, and we'll come back to you. Report from the steering committee, Commissioner Patton.
The steering committee met tonight at October the 15th at 6:30 PM. There was a consent agenda. We do have a consent agenda, and it's approved.
I hear a motion to approve the steering committee report first. Second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Adoption of the agenda. I hear a motion to approve. And a second? Any discussion?
Also, in the agenda, we discussed the 5 special recognitions we have tonight. And for the new members who haven't been here usually, we try not to have any more than 3, unless they're time sensitive, and, with what's going on with them. And also, there are several resolutions, and Mr. McFarland or Mayor, whoever can explain those later, that did not have to go through committee because it's a federal grant money, and it's not our money, so those did not have to go through committee. Thank you.
And so just to add discussion, just as you want to honor people in your district, and we want you to do that, we try to limit them between 3 and 5 if we can. When you talk to Mayor Jennings about getting that resolution done, he'll tell you how full the docket is. If it is time sensitive, we'll continue to do that. That's what she was saying. Any other discussion on the adoption of the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Okay. Special recognition at this time. First, I'll introduce Commissioner Terry Ash.
Thank you, Mayor. Chad and I had this resolution prepared last month, so we got it filed timely. I'd like for the Patterson family to please come up front. In the packet, you saw a very lengthy obituary about Ignatius Pat Patterson. I want you to take time to read that when you have time. This is a wonderful man and contributed a whole lot to our community as his family comes up here. I also want to thank the county for putting the pink paper out. I've lost several members of my family to a dangerous disease that ladies come across, and it means a lot to me. That's why I have my pink tie on tonight in honor of those people. Tell a little something on Gene before we get up here. The Patterson family have been my friends for a lifetime, and the first time that I ever went to their house to get Pat to support me, I'd call Jerry, and Jerry said, if you get Pat to support you, you need to get that done. So I go down, Barbara and I go down to the house, and she was dressed real nice, and I was cleaned up really good, and I went in the house, and Jean had on cut-off blue jeans. And she said, well, I hope you like what Pat's fixing on the grill. I don't think we ever told him what we did we? And I said, and Barbara spoke up and said, well, he'll eat anything but salmon. So Gene reaches up and gets me by the throat and says, look here, Buster. So we're having salmon today, and you're going to like it. So it is an honor for hold these for me, Chad, if you would, to honor Pat, and I'll read the resolution we have in our packet. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, to honor the life and memory of Mr. Ignatius Pat Patterson, Jr. The Wilson County resident Ignatius Pat Jr. passed away Thursday, August the 30th, 2018, at the early age of 92 years. Mr. Patterson was survived of his wife of 46 years, Jean Patterson, 4 children, which are Mary, Teresa, Rodney, and Lucian. And there's 7 grandchildren, there's 5 great-grandchildren, and too many friends and all to count. 17 great-grandchildren, excuse me.
5 great-great.
And 5 great-great-grandchildren. Whereas Mr. Patterson experienced a life in so many roles as a military veteran, law enforcement, politics, farming, civic service to his community and to government. Whereas shortly after graduating high school, he was drafted into World War II, stationed in Guam. Now listen to this. And during his tour of duty, he received a Bronze Star, a Silver Star, and 2 Purple Hearts. Whereupon, after discharge from the Army, he joined the National Guard. and was called back into active duty in 1950 during the Korean conflict, where he was attached to a military police unit as a special investigator in CID with many duties, one of which was to guard President Truman at the Army-Navy game because of his sharpshooter skills. His military experience led him into a career in law enforcement, first in Davidson County Sheriff's Department as a deputy sheriff, and then to the Tennessee Highway Patrol and as a TBI agent. And whereas as young age, he began his political career by winning a seat in the Davidson County Democratic Executive Committee in 1950, serving as the chair of the Steverson-Kefauver presidential campaign. He worked on the Kennedy and Johnson presidential campaign in 1960, traveling extensively with both candidates. And in 1961 was selected by President Kennedy as one of the 10 outstanding people in government to represent the United States in a tour of NATO countries, where he met many dignitaries and heads of states, including folks like Charles de Gaulle and others. Whereas Mr. Patterson was a delegate to the Democratic National Convention in 1952, 1950, and 56 and 60. And whereas he was active in the American Legion, where he began a long friendship with Frank Clement, later become governor of the state of Tennessee, with Mr. Patterson serving in the administration of both Governor Clement and Governor Buford Ellington. And whereas after his long career, he retired to the quiet of the country of Wilson County and entered the cattle business. And whereas his retirement, Mr. Patterson served in Wilson County in many capacities, including the Workhouse Commission, which is not on here, was 10 years for me, foreman of Wilson County Grand Jury for 8 years, and in the Zoning Board of Appeals for 6 more years. And whereas in 1948 he became a Mason and later elevated to the 32nd degree Mason Scottish Rite and later becoming a Shriner. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that we honor the life and memory of Ignatius Patterson Jr. By the adoption of this resolution. A copy of this resolution be presented to Mr. Patterson's family in remembrance and appreciation for the service of his country, his state, and his fellow citizens of Wilson County, attested to by myself, Commissioner Terry Ash, Chad Bernard, and Mayor Randall Hutto.
All in favor, say aye.
I'm gonna share a story. My daddy started an appliance business when I was probably 5 or 6, and when I got about 10 or 12, ever so often he'd say, "I want you to ride with me on a call," and we'd go in, and it was always one of his good customers, and they'd give you a piece of candy or an apple or something as a kid. And so anyway, he'd come by. He said, "Get ready, I'm gonna take you to a call." And so went over there they wanted you to call them Pat and Jean. So I went over to their house, and we went in, and she said, "Well, come on in." Well, she had one of them Thanksgiving trays of like brownies and fudge, and she always made Daddy a pot of coffee. We got there like at 9 o'clock in the morning and left about 1 o'clock that afternoon. And so anyway, Pat is one of the reasons I got in this seat. He loved his politics, his country, and his county. And when I started doing my Christmas thing, I'd call them, ask their advice, what they thought about it. And so I made these potpourri jars to try to help offset some of my light bill costs. And so I was trying to sell them, and I bought like 25 of them, and they were pretty expensive. And so I spent a lot of money on it. And so I sold 1 or 2, and I thought, well, I'll call Pat and Jean. And I said, "Y'all home?" And they said, "Yeah, come on by." So I took one of them in. Pat was sitting at the kitchen table. I unscrewed it. He said, "Whoa, that smells good." He said, "Gene, we ought to get one for so-and-so." And I bought 25 of them, and I only sold like 2 or 3. And by the time Jean smelled one of them, she said, "Give me 15 of them." And the rest is history. So, thank you.
I thank you all. I thank you, Terry. I thank you, Chad. Y'all have been wonderful friends, and the family all appreciates this so much. He was a wonderful man, a wonderful family, and it's so nice of y'all to honor him. We all appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ash and Commissioner Bernard. these are the good things that we get to do as county commissioners and as a body to recognize icons in our community that do so much for all of us. This time, I'll introduce Commissioner Dan Walker.
I'd like to ask Ms. Gwen Queener, one of our former school board members, to join me, and Mr. Leedy and Ms. Kathy Leedy, if you would, please. So Gwen Queener and I became good friends over the summer. We were campaigning together, and her husband Henry do a lot of work out there on the campaign trail, and Gwen asked me to do a favor for her. And so we've been working behind the scenes trying to put something together for Ms. Kathy Leedy here, and she's a very busy woman right now, traveling across the state in her position now with the American Legion. So this is a surprise tonight. So we're going to honor Miss Leedy in her current capacity as the Tennessee State President of the Women's Auxiliary of the American Legion. The resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, honoring Wilson County resident Kathy Leedy. Whereas acknowledging Kathy Leedy's 20 years of membership in the American Legion Auxiliary, and whereas declaring she comes from a family of veterans, including her father, 2 uncles, and her husband, Richard Leedy, United States Army, all of whom have served our country. And whereas confidently and with determination, she served American Legion Unit 88 as treasurer for 3 years and president for 2 years. And whereas Kathy was tasked with charting a new unit in Mount Juliet, known as the Tyler Cates United 281, and whereas Unit 281 was charted in November of 2010 with recognition of Kathy serving as their president for 7 years. And whereas she confidently stepped up and fulfilled her duties in the role of Department Vice President in 2017, prior to that she served as Department Membership Chairman for 3 years and 6th District President in 2016 before being elected Department President in June of 2018. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that we commend Ms. Kathy Leedy for her unwavering dedication to veterans and their families. And be it further resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee recognizes the tireless volunteer efforts of Kathy Leedy to improve her community.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This is indeed a great honor for me. I didn't expect all of this, but I do appreciate it, and I am dedicated to serving our veterans in our community and as well as serving the community. And I want to say to all the veterans in this room, and I know there are quite a few of you, thank you all for your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you and congratulations. I think before we go to the next section, which is going to be all covered by Commissioner Glover, I'm going to go back to you, Commissioner McFarland. Ms. Bush is ready.
Yes, Ms. Saunders, would you turn on the planning and zoning microphones, please? Right. Nope, we gotta have audio.
It's a story about Army battles that happened right here in your hometown, and in other towns just like it in around Middle Tennessee.
Is this about the Civil War?
No, it was much bigger, even more terrible war. It was time when I was about your age, when 850,000 men trained to become the fighting force that pushed back the Nazis during World War II. They marched, trained, camped across these lands. And I bet at least one of those soldiers walked right across where your home sits today.
Did soldiers die here?
Yes, some did, but they didn't die in vain.
I mean, we're right here. We've got to be right there. If I had another place to cross, I'd use it.
Wish there's another way, but I wish you the best. Godspeed.
would say there was never has been a time that was quite like the togetherness of the country. We should never forget it. And as a grandmother now, I would love to know the right words to say to my grandchildren and great-grandchildren how important, how very important it is to be the United States of America.
Well, this is where it happened. They had to be scared, but they did to Judy anyway.
Thank you very much, and I hope that y'all can come see the full debut of that on the 8th.
Young man, I'm going to tell you the story.
Commissioner McFarland, appreciate you always sharing the history of our county in short snippets like this. And if you'd like to learn more about this maneuver, go to our website, and you can sign up actually on there to go to this fundraising dinner. Thank you for that. Commissioner Glover, it's your program.
I get the EMA committee to come up. We have 3 resolutions. If we can have Division Chief Shannon Cooper, Director Cooper, and Advanced EMT Firefighter Laura Eady to come up. Any of your family that's here is welcome to come up also. As they're coming up, emergency services are made, as far as the Sheriff's Department, WEMA, fire departments, are made to be able to get by on daily calls, daily activities. Anything that happens that's major, then they count on surrounding agencies, such as Hurricane Florence. People come from all over the nation to respond here to assist the overwhelmed emergency services of these locations. The first resolution is of the Board of the County Commission of Wilson County, honor members of the Wilson County Emergency Management Agency, the Ambulance Strike Team. In September of this year, residents of the state of North Carolina were subject to Hurricane Florence, bringing torrential rain and severe flooding to many areas. And whereas Wilson County Emergency Management deployed 2 personnel, Division Chief Shannon Cooper and Advanced EMT Firefighter Laura Eady, along with 1 ambulance to be part of the Region 5 Middle Tennessee Ambulance Strike Team, which also consists of ambulances from Robertson, Nashville Fire, Cheatham, Sumner, and a strike team leader and support trailer for Williamson County. Whereas members of this strike team deployed from September 12th to September 20th, first to Stem, North Carolina to stage, and then departing the next day to Kinston, North Carolina for assignments, where they were combined in convoy with Region 7 out of West Tennessee, consisting of 10 ambulances, 2 support truck trailers, and 1 state EMS regional coordinator. Whereas the departure to Kingston, North Carolina, provided to be difficult as the first rounds of Hurricane Florence had reached islands and were producing heavy rains, strong winds, tornadoes, which required the team to take shelter in a warehouse at the Kingston Regional Airport in a stressful night consisting of wind, rain, tornadoes, flooding, and debris. The next morning, the team departed to New Bern, North Carolina to assist with patients that the Coast Guard were rescuing and dropping off at the coastal airport there. When the deployment proved to be unsafe for rescue after multiple attempts, the team was ordered back to Kingston, where they were assigned to Wilmington, North Carolina, to assist EMS there and to begin running 911 calls with New Hanover EMS. During this time, there was great stress to Chief Cooper and Advanced EMT Firefighter Eady. Many people were nice and upbeat, even though all the devastation, and the team was received with graciousness, kindness from the people that they were helping. Wilson County members of the strike team were left with memories of challenge and danger, but the preservation of those affected touched them in ways that are indescribable. And whereas the citizens of Wilson County should be proud of the experience, training, and commitment of the ambulance strike team and their willingness to assist the citizens of the state of North Carolina during this extreme weather event. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County that we hereby honor Wilson County Emergency Management Agency's ambulance strike team members Shannon Cooper and Laura Eady for their willingness to travel to North Carolina and assist the citizens of North Carolina in their time of need, and thank them for their commitment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
We're going to give this resolutions to Director Cooper to put in display at your headquarters, and we will get their resolutions at a later date. Thank you. Also, if we can get the Swiftwater Rescue Team to come up and their families. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I also heard Miss Edie here is quite the singer. So look her up on YouTube. And Chief Dow, if you'll join us up here also, since it's a couple of your men. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, honoring members of the Wilson County Emergency Management Agency and the Lebanon Fire Department Swiftwater Rescue Team. Whereas in September of this year, residents of the state of South Carolina were subject to Hurricane Florence, bringing torrential rain and severe flooding to many areas. In response to the need of the citizens of South Carolina, members of the Wilson County Emergency Management Agency and the Lebanon Fire Department Swiftwater Rescue Team deployed to various cities in South Carolina from September 12th to September 25th, along with numerous other personnel from across the state of Tennessee. The members of the Swiftwater team included Lieutenant James Hendricks with WEMA, Advanced EMT Colton Young from WEMA, Shift Commander Chris Stockton, Lebanon Fire Department, and firefighter EMR Jeffrey Davenport from the Lebanon Fire Department. These four personnel from Wilson County deployed with Rutherford County Fire and Murfreesboro Fire with equipment which included 2 boats from WEMA, along with the trucks to pull the boats and transport personnel and supplies. Whereas during this period of time, the crew deployed out of the state EOC in Route Camp McGrady, where this team staged in multiple cities included Lake City, Dillon, Mullins, and Mario City. Whereas during their deployment, they responded to Swiftwater rescue calls of people trapped in homes, drivers who either disregarded road closure signs or become trapped with the rising water, and also performed house-to-house searches after the storm via boat, as the flooding made it impossible to do normal searches. Whereas from their efforts, they were able to rescue stranded people and their pets, providing a tremendous service to their fellow citizens in a time of great need. Whereas the citizens of Wilson County should be proud of their experience, their training, and commitment of the members of this Swiftwater Rescue Team, and their willingness to assist the citizens of the state of South Carolina during an extreme weather event. And therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County that we're hereby honored to the Swiftwater Rescue Team consisting of Wilson County Emergency Management Agency personnel, Lieutenant James Hendricks and Colton Young, and Lebanon Fire Department personnel, Shift Commander Chris Stockton and Jeffrey Davenport, for their sacrifice and commitment to the citizens of South Carolina for their time of need, and express our thanks to them for their commitment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
You'll put it in next month?
Yes, sir.
We'll do it.
Thank y'all.
No question that, in my mind, that public safety in Wilson County is a leader in our state. I commend Director Cooper and Sheriff Bryan and all the municipalities for what they do and leading this state in public safety. The other resolution that you see there, couldn't get all of our members together. We will recognize them next month. So that's Resolution 18-10-5. Reports of Minutes Committee, Commissioner Bishop. Got a motion and a second. Now, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Reading of the minutes? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Thank you, Cindy. I want to cover just a few things while Miss Amy comes towards the front. We will have a judge to replace, and Judge Gwynn, and we've done all of the proper notification. As you will know, we'll give you a step-by-step plan, but if you have any questions concerning the replacement of Judge Gwynn, feel free to call the office, and hopefully you've got everything that you need to understand how that works. I will update you right quick, and that Sarah Davenport will be contacting our Finance Committee, which I think is one of the only committees so far that haven't met since we got our new commission going. So she will contact you here during this week to see if we can get all parties together for our Finance Committee. I'd like to commend these people, if I could, for the Habitat build. You know, you got some conversation from Sarah Patton and Commissioner Patton. I thank you for leading the charge on this and getting a group together. But she was able to be there on Saturday. So was Miss Cindy Bannock, Miss Sonia Robinson, and Miss Susan Shaw out of our office, and a few others. And I know it was fall break. Everybody didn't get a chance to go. And if you'd like to come and be a part of that, please holler at me and we can plug you in on another date. But it was really a good time. It was hard work, but it was rewarding to see the family that's going to get the house was there. And there's probably a little more to the story about that, and I may write something up and let you see that. So many people think that house is just given to somebody, and that's not true. I learned a whole lot during that time. But thank you for leading that, Commissioner Patton, and for those of you that were able to be a part. I will say that our IT director, Mr. Tim Barrett, put on your desk some things. One is about that everybody now has a county email address and directions on how to employ that or how to use that is a step-by-step plan on your desk. There are also 2 cards here from both of our IT personnel to help you use that email address if you'd like to. Now, you may say, well, I don't really want to use the county email address, and that's completely fine. They will tell you that probably safety-wise for you, it's better to put all your government stuff on one email so that if somebody does sequester that with public records, they don't get everything else that you got on your private email. But it's up to you to choose on that. We wanted to supply that for you. It's there. If you want us to put that email address on our website for people to contact you, please let Sarah Davenport know, and she'll do that for you. By the way, I hope you have a chance to look at the new website. A lot of work has been done on there. It's really improved, and Sarah has spent some time in our office with Peter Bear. Normally, if we wanted to upgrade our website or put something on there, we would have to contact Peter, pay Peter to come in and fix it. She's learned to do that now, so she's saving us that cost. She can add anything you guys would like to have put on there as well. So please make sure that we do that. I think that is pretty much that part. I know Aaron will talk about sales tax when he gets up here, I'm sure. But as I just, again, remind us that as people talk about sales tax, you know, our goal was to do what you asked us to do when Commissioner Rich stood up and said, hey, let's put the sales tax out for a vote. Our job has been since that time is to educate people on why they pull the lever. They can pull yes or no, it really doesn't matter to me or us. But when you pull yes or no, there is a reason that you need to vote the way you're going to vote. So we have spent some time, and there are some flyers on mailers that's going out, and I have 4 of them so far that will be hitting the mail that educate the people on why the sales tax is on there. Lauren Breeze has put together, Commissioner Breeze has put together a one-pager that's also available. If you like any of those, you can. And then Aaron Maynard as well has put a slideshow together. I know Commissioner Breeze has also got 4 public dates with 4 high schools on 4 dates that people are going to gather and we're going to talk. And Aaron will give more of this conversation a little bit later on. But I wanted you to know that there's a lot of work gone in to really just trying to educate the public on why sales tax is put out there, what it's for, and when they vote, there's a reason for you to vote one way or the other. We're not asking from the county commission to vote one way or the other. We just want to educate people on the vote. Any questions for me on anything that I just talked about? Seeing none, I'm going to introduce Miss Amy Nichols, which you already know is our tourism director, but she has a few exciting things that she shared with me, and I wanted to share with you in just a brief few minutes.
Thank you guys so much for letting me be here and talk to you about a few pieces of collateral that are sitting in front of you. But first, you should have received an email from me earlier today with our latest and greatest Wilson County economic impact of tourism numbers. But again, I hear you guys now have a new email address, so if you'd rather me use those, just let me know. But the highlight here is that we are up 7% from last year's snapshot, which is pretty fantastic. And because of state and local taxes generated by tourism, we've saved each Wilson County household $321 in taxes. So if you have any questions about that snapshot, just feel free to let me know. We also, and again, this is also in your email from earlier today, but we have a Wilson County advertisement in the Tennessee Titans yearbook. So all pass holders, anybody who has season passes for the Tennessee Titans, as well as if you've purchased this at one of the games or anywhere throughout Nashville, you're going to see a giant ad trying to say, hey, for your next game day experience when you're traveling to Nashville, you should consider Wilson County as an option to stay. And then the 3 pieces of collateral that are sitting on your desk. The first is our Wilson County brochure. It's just a general brochure that talks about all the attractions in the area. It talks about some hotels we have, a map of Watertown and Lebanon and Mount Juliet, of just kind of, obviously we can't do the full map, but we tried to zoom in on the areas that are most popular with tourists, as well as on the back, just a highlight of some area attractions, where to eat, where to shop, and some signature events in the area. You also have, we just got these actually in this week, but these are the Wilson County dining guides. And if you open those up, you'll see the restaurants in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Watertown that we featured. And then the last piece of collateral is a little postcard for Feast Week. It is a Wilson County dining initiative that the tourism department has. This is the first year for it, but you get 3 courses for one price at over 14. There's about 14 or 15 restaurants, depending one, throughout Wilson County, and you get an entree, an appetizer, a dessert for one price, and $1 from every meal goes towards a local charity. So that is to just kind of boost not only some traffic to our local Wilson County restaurants, but also increase our new brand and our new slogan, Near Nashville, Miles from Ordinary, visit Wilco, Tennessee. And it is also to get people to go visit our new website. So if you guys have any questions about any of this collateral, we will have a couple new pieces coming out. We're going to have a shopping guide just ready for the holidays, so it's going to come out next month, early next month. And then after the holidays, we're going to have a historic and cultural guide, because we do have several Civil War spots throughout Wilson County, as well as we have 4 new stops on the Tennessee Music Pathways program that are going to be popping up throughout the county as well. So if you guys have any questions or if you have any suggestions, this is the first round. We're going to renew these every year so we can keep it updated and fresh. So if you see anything here that you say, hey, you should probably include that next time, just let me know.
Thank you, Miss Amy. Appreciate that. If you have questions for Amy, please feel free to give her a call. And to go along with the philosophy that you have of sales tax as one of the major revenues here, that is completely all in her job, is to drive more people here to spend dollars and to go home. 2 quick things that I will say to you. Tim Barrett, our IT director, will put out an email to you that just talks about our cybersecurity within the county. So you'll get that. That's the things that we're strong in. He might tell you a few things in it that we probably need to improve on. He may or may not put that in his email, but he is evaluating that. And the last thing, our system here, our voting system and our sound system, of course, the bids were taken, the money's been approved, the PO's been done. That will be done, the work will be done in November. So he'll have that done, just to give you an update on that. Mr. Goodall, I see a notary list in front of me. Any additions to be added? All the notaries are good on that list, so do I hear a motion to approve those? The second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. And opposed? Okay. Report from Emergency Management Committee, Commissioner Glover. And Emergency Management Director's report, Director Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor, County Commissioners. In your packet, you'll see our year-to-date total so far is 11,902 calls. As far as our activities, a few things that I want to make mention to. With the recognitions, one thing about Wilson County that's always amazed me is it don't matter the color of your shirt. It don't matter what patch you wear. It's one fight, one team to get the job done. So, you know, it's always excited me that Wilson County is that way. No matter what public safety department you work for, no matter, you know, what department head it is, this county really works together. So we did have one significant event I do want to make mention to. It was a terrible incident, a drowning incident that happened in District 18. But I do want to say that the crews that were there, along with the sheriff deputies that helped us out there, we brought closure to the family. They done it in a swiftly and timely manner. And I also want to recognize Commissioner Breeze. She did show up out there and actually help consult with the family during that time. So I do want to thank you for that. October 15th is today, of course. Burn permits are required if you're going to burn. So if you get any phone calls, you know where to send them. Department of Forestry. For the new commissioners, I meant to make mention of this last month, but you may get 2 pieces of information from our department, one of those being district alerts. If you have a significant event in your district, you'll probably receive an alert on that. Pretty much give you a detail of what's going on. Outside of that, you'll get a situation report, mainly with severe weather, things like that. So you may see those. Outside of that, that concludes my report.
Do I hear a motion to approve the report? And a second? Now discussion. Commissioner Stafford.
Mr. Cooper, Director Cooper, I just want to ask you, are we equipped with Narcan or Narcon or whatever, however you say it, with the opioid epidemic going on? Are we equipped on our ambulances to take care of that Narcan for opioid OD overdoses?
Yes, ma'am. And for informational purposes, all the public safety agencies, law enforcement, and fire departments also have Narcan.
Okay, because I noticed I don't try to compare us to Rutherford County, but I was watching a news report this morning that was talking about Rutherford County had it on all of their equipment, so I just want to make sure that we as Wilson County was equipped and ready as well.
Yes, ma'am. I think law enforcement's already used quite a bit, you know, between Mount Juliet, Lebanon, and Sheriff's Department.
That's
so,
great
yes,
to
ma'am.
know. Thank you.
Any other questions, Director Cooper? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Thank you, Director. Report from the Law Enforcement Committee, Commissioner Rich. Sheriff's report, Sheriff Bryan.
Thank you, Mayor, County Commissioners. Your report's in your packet. numbers are pretty much on par for this time of the year. Calls for service is down a little bit, at least. Civil warrants continue to come in at a pretty big rate, and as I say every time, the jail population's, the highest day we had was 527. That's 450 bed facilities, so it's important to keep eye on that. I hate to say this, but when I left, we was, it's probably gonna come back and bite me, but when I left the office tonight, it was actually below 500, not much, but every little bit counts, so it made me feel good it was a little bit below, so. Department staying busy pretty much, and I want to respond to Commissioner Stafford's question, please. Narcan, we do have Narcan in our patrol cars. We have utilized that several times, and we're seeing a lot of a need for that type of medication inside the jail because as they come in and they're in there for a little while, it starts hitting them, so that's when we're using a lot of it too inside the jail. So our nursing staff inside the jail is equipped with it also, so, and we have used it. Your report pretty much, I want to remind all the new commissioners and the older, I hate to call you old commissioners except Commissioner McFarland. Sorry. I want to remind, just so you'll know, then you'll see on these reports, then make work bus what they're doing each month and the roads they're picking up. I encourage each and every one of you to just contact us at the office. Let us know if you see any problem areas that we need to address. And another thing, just anything you need from the sheriff's office, our door's open. Come see us. And I encouraged all the new ones and anybody to come and just walk through the facility. Let us show you what the sheriff's office is doing. SRO division's staying pretty busy. School's been out for a couple of weeks. We're getting fired back up now, and we're doing well in the schools. That concludes my report unless there's any further questions.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Sheriff Bryan, while you're still here, now, there is a snake that was put up here on my thing. I have a new...
I'm not over animal control.
Good to know. Well, I know I have a new commission, but my wife has showed up for the first time too, so I wasn't for sure who put that on there, but if you would take care of that, or maybe take care of her if you don't mind, on the way back. Thanks, Sheriff. You're not full at the jail yet. Report from Education Committee, Commissioner Stafford. Director of Schools report, Dr. Donna Wright.
Good evening, Mayor, County Commissioners, and Sheriff. I'm so happy that you didn't actually drop that in my lap, because that would have been an embarrassment on my part. Very brief report tonight. You have the packet that was sent out earlier. I do want to take note, because this was embargoed information when we met last month, but we had additional recognition. Last month I shared with you that over half of our schools were level 5s, including the district, which is a substantial 2 years worth of growth. And particularly when you look at high schools, it's something that we had not experienced, I've not experienced in my career. But the bigger announcement is at the bottom of your report, talking about reward schools for 2017-18. There were 318 schools across the state recognized, and put in context, there's 1,819 schools in the state of Tennessee. 318 recognized as reward schools. That's not only meeting achievement goals, but also growth. And that literally, for those of you, we all understand achievement. That's taking that test and more or less that snapshot time, but the growth becomes significant because we're growing our kids not more than 1 year, but 2 years worth of growth. And 7 schools in Wilson County, out of that 318, out of 1,819 schools recognized as reward schools, and that's very significant. Springdale would also be on there, but it was being a new school, would not count yet, but they had the same kind of scores that we're looking for as far as that would have been part of that recognition. We also had 3 schools that are CUS schools that by a point or two would have been as part of that. So again, before this body, letting you know that the school district is really doing not only some good work, but the benefit on behalf of our boys and girls is very, very significant. Also, new information, this is coming from the State Department. It was also embargoed, but our composite score district-wide for ACT is 21.2. We started at 19.7 3.5 years ago, and looking at what our students are accomplishing with that, because that, again, is money. That is your entrance into college, particularly that first year paid for, and every point we can get above that is, as I tell parents, we want to not only get them in school, but we want them to be able to stay in school as well. And so the progress that's being made there at all 4 high schools, again, very important. Something I had an opportunity, and I will be bringing information to you later. I had the opportunity, was asked to visit some school districts in and around Cleveland, Ohio, and particularly the work that they're doing around what they call innovation and invention labs. And it's something that not only is it a county initiative with community colleges, but with also the local school districts. And the work that's going on there is not only very significant, but it's important for economic development as well. And the more that I was listening and hearing what they were presenting there, much of it we're doing, but in isolated silos. And so what I would like to bring to this group later, as far as what we can do, as far as garnering not only the resources within the school district with colleges, universities, and then as a county as a whole, but create those business partnerships, because this becomes a hub, an innovation hub. And what's happening up there in that upper northeast portion of Ohio is not only extraordinary, but it's also become something that they are becoming sort of a magnet for business partnerships with some dollars that are coming with it. But again, we have pieces of this already, and that's something I would like to have and bring together with several commissioners that are already working in that effort. And then the last thing that I asked Sandra to give you a copy, and Mayor, this was something I didn't have to share earlier when you were doing the education piece, but the letter that's going out to parents, we're coming off a fall break. Wanted to make sure it was information that did not go out too early on the sales tax referendum, but it's also an education piece as far as the need, and we are hitting social media, we are hitting as far as not only our page websites, but also every avenue that we can take to make sure that it's understood what it means and how it will be used. And so, barring no questions, that concludes my report for this evening.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Thank you. Commissioner Kurtz, I know the Lebanon Special School District has 3 schools, I thought, maybe, that are reward schools, if you'd like to mention those.
Sure. Half of our school district, Byron Valley, Sam Houston, and Walter J. are all 3 reward schools.
Okay, which made us 10 overall in the district, and
And again, when I keep using the word significant, but that is very significant.
and thank you for taking the lead on the letter to your students. And Commissioner Keith asked me to talk to Mr. Benson at the Special School District. I did that, and he confirmed that they would send a letter out as well. So both of those have gotten done. Okay.
Mr. Benson and I have had that conversation as well, and we're working together on this.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Register of Deeds report. Ms. Murphy. Glad to have you with us. Glad to have you with us. Now, Mayor Jennings said you moved a little bit faster, Mr. Bibb. I won't speculate on that.
Okay. Good evening. The Register of Deeds office for the third quarter collected $122,404.47 of excess fees and $15,424 of DP fees, consisting of 7,726 documents for the third quarter, slightly lower from 2017 by 336 documents, but slightly higher than 16 by 190 documents. Thank you.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Trustees report, Mr. Major.
Trained her well.
He did. Glad there wasn't any questions. He's gone. Speed up. Mr. Major.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the court, Mayor Hutto. This morning at 10:47, according to Mr. Steve Murphy, we had, or the county has, in their checking account, $47,954,917.70. You also have an additional $30,112,000 in 10 different CDs. We have collected for the tax year of 2017, over 98% of the delinquent taxes. By the time I turn this over to the clerk and master, and by March the 1st, we will collect over 99% of what is owed the county. That is due to the workmanship of my employees. I got a wonderful group of women. I'm very proud of them. They do you a good job. They're very efficient. They're very courteous. This concludes my report.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Thank you, Mr. Major. Road Superintendent report, Mr. Steve Murphy.
Mayor and Commissioners, to this day, we have paved right at 43.727 miles. We're still paving as long as the weather permits. We're still doing our roadside maintenance. Our guys are still mowing, still cutting back our trees, doing our patchwork, and just staying busy as long as the weather let us. That concludes my report.
Any discussion? Got one. Mr. John? Gentry.
Appreciate you paving the one small road, the county in my district. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. No problem.
I only have one small one.
Any other questions for Mr. Murphy? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you, Mr. Murphy. The Ag Center report and Expo Center report, since they covered you last month, they're going to get caught back up in the next quarter, so we didn't want them to come back and say the very same thing. Excuse me? Property assessor, I do not have that on my list. Is it property assessor here? No, yeah, I don't, that one is not, hadn't been, okay, all right. Reports from the Public Works Committee, Commissioner Keith. Ag Center Management Report, Commissioner Scruggs.
Met October the 1st, 5 o'clock at the Ag Center. Papers in your packet, received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Animal Control, Commissioner Marlowe.
Animal Control met Thursday, October the 4th, here at the courthouse. Minutes are in your packet. Move they be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Audit, Commissioner Bernard.
No report.
Cable TV, Commissioner Walker.
PM, I move the minutes be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Development Tourism, Commissioner Bishop. Ethics, Commissioner Ash.
On September 24th, the minutes are in the packet. I move to have them approved.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Finance, Commissioner Weathers. Health and Welfare, Commissioner Patton. Insurance, Commissioner Ash.
Mr. Chairman, the insurance committee met here on the 20th. You do not have the minutes in your packet. But I will tell you, you'll have them next month. I just forgot. All right. What we met about, so you'll know, is we had to get the enrollment stuff ready for the employees to sign up. That was a big part of the reason we met. And also that our insurance premiums and our contracts had to be approved, and they've been done. They've been approved, and our finances are now in pretty good shape with insurance. That's fine.
Is there a motion to approve the report? Second. Any discussion? I will say, Commissioner Ash, I appreciate your committee. There have been days that we've had long discussions about insurance and finances, and we don't want to go unnoticed here that life is better, so thank you for that. All in favor say aye. And opposed? Judicial, Commissioner Keith. Planning and Zoning, Commissioner McFarland.
Mr. Chairman, Planning and Zoning met on October the 2nd, 6:30, your minutes in your packet. Also, we were discussing the regulation governing health and safety standards for residential, non-residential properties. There will be a workshop discussing this issue here in this room, October the 23rd at 5:30. No vote will be taken. We will be discussing the pros and cons. Then we'll come back and have our next meeting on November 5th, I believe at the same time, for voting consideration. So that's my report.
Got a motion? I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Rules, Commissioner Gentry. No report. Urban Type Facility Board, Commissioner Scruggs. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Finance Director's report, Mr. Aaron Maynard.
In your packet, you have a report on debt obligation. It looks like this. We're required every time we issue debt to go over the highlights here. On the new high school, the par amount of the bonds was $104,495,000 with a premium of $2,526,491. What you're primarily interested in is interest rate, which was 3.4735%. Cost of issuance, $82,000. Financial advisor fees, bond counsel, $85,000. Issuers counsel, $5,000. Paying agent fees, $650. Rating agency, which was S&P, $62,500. Underwriter's discount of $262,282. And printing and advertising, $1,500, for a total cost of issuance of $498,782. There are some other things attached to that for you to look at if you would like, but that's what I am required to give you. Shortly thereafter, as you're probably aware, the Federal Reserve increased the rate a quarter of a point. This increased the 20-year U.S. Treasury from 3.14 to 3.29. That actually occurred the day of the sale. So that 15 basis points applied to the bond issue would have resulted in an additional $2.4 million of interest cost to the county. So that's $2.4 million that we saved by going ahead. You should be aware that as of right now, the Fed plans to raise interest rates 3 more times in the next 12 months. So just be aware of that. The mayor said I would have something to say about sales tax. I have speaking engagements lined up, thanks to Ms. Lauren Breeze, Dan Walker, and various others. Most of these will be the abbreviated version of the presentation. It seems most people want the 10-minute version. The entire presentation probably takes about a half hour. If you want a copy of the slideshow, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to get it for you. Other than that, I just need to say something about my staff, and if didn't have a couple of members on vacation, I would have them here tonight. Those of you who have been through a software transition know that that is not the most pleasant thing in the world to go through. And I had members of my staff here at 8 and 9 o'clock at night several times, in here on Saturday and Sunday. And I can't say enough about, they took that upon themselves, and I can't say enough about what a fantastic job they've done in trying to facilitate this transition. And we're in far better shape as I stand here on October 15th than we were a few weeks ago. So I'm very proud of them, and they definitely deserve recognition. And with that, I'll just ask if you have any questions for me.
I got a motion to approve the report first, and a second. Now discussion, Commissioner Stafford.
For our conversation earlier today, and we spoke about it and you corrected me, but for the sake of the new commissioners coming on, this $250,000 that I talked to you about, is this a one-time correction, or is this a continual correction, or is this something that we've missed over several years? Could you please explain that and
Yes, ma'am.
per our conversation?
Yes, ma'am. It's a one-time correction. We have always sent $1 million from the Capital Projects Fund over to debt service, ever since I've been here and going back quite a ways before. Last year, I reduced that down to $750,000 because we'd made some substantial commitments out of the Capital Projects Fund, and I just wanted to be sure that we weren't going to run short. This year, I remembered when I was preparing the budget to put it back to $1 million in the Capital Projects Fund. So I showed $1 million leaving the Capital Projects Fund, but I only showed $750,000 coming into debt service. So all the $250 does is balance out the transfers. So you'll have $1 million coming out of capital projects and $1 million going into debt service. So that's what the $250,000 is.
Commissioner Gentry?
Part 1 of 2 of the pricing summary of the bond, the coupon value, version 3, then the 4, then the 5%. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, the farther out you go, people are buying these bonds in various maturities. And the farther out you go, I'm sorry, yeah, the higher the coupon. So people who are buying these in like 5-year terms, you know, they're buying the early 5 years, they're getting the much lower yields. Really, if you look at the yield, that's what's important, because they're paying, in a lot of cases, they're paying a premium. So if you look at the yield, you see if you're buying out to 2023, you know, the highest you get is about a 2.2%. But if you're going to invest out, you know, for the full 20 years, then, you know, the coupon goes up, the yield goes up quite a bit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Bishop?
22 on this one, I believe. 22. Yeah, it was about 67,000 in interest, something like that. So let's see, 171, yeah. Well, I'll double check on that. In fact, I can do that, and I'll step out in just a minute and grab that. They don't have that in this particular document. I know it could be, Miss Joy. I'd be afraid to say without looking back at it. I'd be afraid to say. Yeah, I'd be afraid to say without looking.
Any other questions? Commissioner John?
Yes.
For this kind of thing, do we have them on retainer? I know they get paid on the bond.
Right.
And we had them come out here and talk to us about
No.
different ways to finance. Did they do that? Did we pay for them to do that? Or
No, sir. About 75% of the work that Stevens does for us is done at no charge.
Okay.
Anytime we call them and say, would you please run a scenario of this, or anytime we ask them to come to a meeting, or I can't tell you the number of times when Tom McAnulty was still with us, the number of times that we called Tom McAnulty in, and Ashley's wonderful as well. But you know, those of you who've been around this county a while know that Tom probably knew the history of this county and what had been done, you know, better than anybody. And so, you know, Tom, he was one of the authors, in fact, of the 81 Act. And so he could really, he was a wealth of knowledge, and they never charge us a dime on like a consultation like that. We only pay them when we actually do an issuance.
Any other questions for Mr. Maynard? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Thank you. Report for the Budget Committee. Commissioner Keith?
Committee met on Thursday, October the 4th. Minutes are in your packet. Unless someone has some question, I move they be approved.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Okay. And now resolutions. Commissioner Keith?
18-10-6, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee to lower the speed limit on North Denny Road from 30 to 20 miles per hour.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed?
18-10-7, resolution of the Board of the County commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee for lead-based paint inspection service, and I think this involves the next few, if you want to.
I will, Commissioner Keith, 18-7 through 11 are 5 different resolutions that apply to a federal grant, accident off federal grant, administered by Jim Kidwell, Mayor Hutto's office. And it is for such things for low-income families to have work or repair on their homes. I'd like to move that we put all 5 of these together and vote on them one time, and I'd like to move to approve one. Is that?
All in favor say aye.
I'd like to
Put
move,
them all together.
like to move to approve all 5 of these. No county money involved.
I got a motion to approve all 5. That's from 1018-7 all the way down to 1810-11. I got a motion by Commissioner Franklin, a second by Commissioner Bernard. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. I would like to just add to that Jim Kittle works hard to get this grant. We don't always get it, and $500,000 goes to people that would qualify out in the community to upgrade their homes. It goes to community development partners that goes out and they bid all the work out for our local people here. They also handle all the people that want to submit their homes to be upgraded. There are qualifications to get that, but all that runs through Jim's office. And so if you ever see Mr. Jim, please thank him for that, because it's a good deal for us. No county money involved, and definitely helps the citizens of Wilson County out that need help. Commissioner? Keith?
Resolution 1810-12, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for the 2018-19 fiscal year to make an additional appropriation from the General Debt Service Fund into the General Debt Service.
Your motion to approve? And a second? And before we go, Commissioner Stafford, your comment I did not see here, does it have anything to do with the last vote?
No, it didn't have, it had to do with the last 5 that you just talked about.
Yeah.
I just want to make it aware that some of us represent inside the city of Lebanon. That does not include the city of Lebanon. It only includes the commissioners that are on outside in the county, not inside the city, of the grant that we've got.
Okay.
To make that aware, because, some of us represent, such as myself, I don't want my constituents to think that they can come in and get it, because if you're inside the city limits, you cannot get that same grant, because we've tried that before, and they're not allowed to. You have to be in the county areas. Just want to
Okay.
make that aware.
Noted.
I apologize. I just wanted to be sure I was able to answer Ms. Bishop's question. I apologize, Gary. The total interest cost on this issue, of course, it's $104 million in principal, $59,475,519 in interest. So total principal and interest is $970,519. So let's call it $164 million. Nice round number. Okay. Yeah.
I was looking at the columns, I was combining them, and still looking at what was up the top.
Yes, ma'am, I apologize. I just didn't want to leave that hanging out there since that was asked. Sir, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're back on 18-10-12, additional appropriation from General Debt Service Fund into the General Debt Service. We got a motion and a second. Any discussion before we move on with this resolution? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Bishop? We're on 1810-12. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent. Resolution passes.
18-10-13, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for the 2018-19 fiscal year to make an appropriation from the general fund stormwater reserve to stormwater.
I got a motion and a second. Now discussion. Not seeing any. Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Mr. Robinson? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent. Resolution passes.
18-10-14, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for the 2018 and 19 fiscal year to make an additional appropriation from the general fund into planning.
I got a motion. To hear a second? I got a second. Now, any discussion? And I'll go to Commissioner Robinson.
I'd like to make a motion to defer this until we can get the bids out and bring this back until in November.
Got a motion to defer and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous, and this one will be deferred.
18-10-15, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for the 2018-19 fiscal year to make an additional appropriation from the Capital Projects Fund into the Ag Center.
Got a motion and a second. Now, any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent. Resolution passes.
18-10-16, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for the 2018-19 fiscal year to make an additional appropriation from the Ag Center Fund 124 into the Ag Center.
Got a motion and a second. Now discussion. Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent. Resolution passes.
18-10-17, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for the 2018-19 fiscal year to make an additional appropriation from the Capital Projects Fund into the General Debt Service.
Got a motion and a second. Now discussion. Commissioner Stafford.
To the new commissioners, this was a question that I was just speaking to Mr. Maynard about the transfer of the $250,000 for a correction into the Capital Projects Fund. So just to clarify our previous conversation, this is exactly what I was talking about.
Well noted. Any other? Seeing none, are we, no other discussion? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Thank you, Commissioner Keith. Thank you. Commissioner Walker? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 24 yes, 1 absent. Hang on one second. Are you talking about zoning? We got to go through that. We still got to get there. We haven't got there yet? Yes, sir. Any old business to come before this body? Any new business? This time we'll need to hold a public hearing, so we'll need a motion to go out of session. And a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? This time I'll introduce our Planning Director, Mr. Tom Brashears, and he will run our public hearing at this time as we move forward.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first opportunity I've had to be in front of this newly elected body, the county commission. It's the first opportunity that I've had to have rezonings in front of you. Just want to say I look forward to working with each of you, both old and new faces, and I'm excited about that. So, without any further delay, I've got two public hearings tonight. I'm going to start with the first one. A public hearing will be held before the Wilson County Commission on Monday, October 15th, 2018 at 7 p.m. or thereafter in the County Commission room of the Wilson County Courthouse located here at 228 East Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee. The first item for consideration is an application that was submitted by Paul Crockett on behalf of the owners Blake Bass and Brandon Bass to rezone parcel 94.02 of Wilson County property map 92 from A1 agricultural to I1 light industrial. The property is located at 3250 Murfreesboro Road, I think it's Old Murfreesboro Road, consisting of approximately 14.95 acres. A copy of this request has been on file in the Wilson County Planning Office, located here in the basement of the courthouse, and has been available for inspection during regular business hours. Anyone wishing to comment is requested to come forward at this time.
If you will, please step to the podium in the back, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you. Tom. We'll hold both, please.
Roy Gialdini, 3100 Old Murfreesboro Road. And I am opposed to this rezoning from A1 agricultural to I1 light industry. And the reasons are pretty much residential area. And we have more truck traffic now with the Bass Brothers Trucking Company in there, which was a resident, and now they want to turn it into light industry. Again, I oppose it, and there's noise from the trucks and a lot more traffic involved with their moving in there and wanting to change the zoning to light industry. And that's my statement. And again, I'm opposed to the rezoning.
Thank you for coming and speaking. Thank you.
All right, thank you for hearing me.
Anyone else wishing to speak before this body on this particular rezoning? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go to the second public hearing before we go back into session to do our business and let you vote, okay? Tom?
Ladies and gentlemen, a public hearing will be held before the Wilson County Commission on Monday, October 15th, 2018 at 7 p.m. in the County Commission room of the Wilson County Courthouse located here at 228 East Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee. The following item is up for consideration, an application submitted by Paul Crockett representing Gene Jones to rezone property owned by Gerald Dean and Kathy Dean from A1 agricultural zoning to R1 rural residential zoning. The property is located at Murfreesboro Road and is referenced as Wilson County property map 136, parcel 27.01. The property contains approximately 6.75 acres, and a copy of this request has been on file here at the county commission room, and in the county planning office, and has been available for inspection during regular business hours. Anyone desiring to comment is requested to come forward at this time.
Like to speak on the second property up for question tonight, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Anyone wishing to speak on this property? Seeing none, that will conclude public comment period. Need a motion to go back into session. Second. All in favor say aye. And opposed? And Tom, if you'll proceed.
Okay, again, the first item up for consideration is a rezoning that was applied for by Paul Crockett on behalf of Blake and Brandon Bass to rezone property at 3250, I believe it's Old Murfreesboro Road, consisting of approximately 14.95 acres and being referenced as Wilson County property map 92, parcel 94.02. And the request is a rezone from A1 agricultural to I1 light industrial. This request comes to you on appeal of the City of Lebanon's Regional Planning Commission recommendation for denial. Their stated reason for recommending denial had to do with the fact that their land use plan did not call for light industrial zoning in this location. It called for, I think, mixed use residential.
Commissioner Scruggs, this is in your district. We'll let you speak first, and then anybody else afterwards.
Yes, this is in my district. I recommend this to be going through. Man's been there 3 years in operation. You know, I just can't see, he can't be there, you know. He's been there, he's a businessman in this town, they are, for 19 years. You know, I say, let it go.
Commissioner Ash?
I've been driving by this property 45 years, solid rock. And it was zoned this way originally, was it not? It wasn't zoned, it wasn't agricultural always.
It was agriculture, it has been agriculture, yes. And there was a contractor's office in operation on the property. The Basses brought it at some point, or bought it at some point, and I suppose expanded the contractor's operation that was on the property. But there was a previous operation that was there. It did go before the Board of Zoning Appeals, the County Board of Zoning Appeals. We did recommend denial of it, or we couldn't recommend approval of it because it was not grandfathered as a result of them modifying the property lines on the original use of the property.
Either way,
Yeah.
I agree with Commissioner Scruggs, this needs to be approved. I mean, they've been out there and did this more than 3 years, not knowing this, and this got brought to somebody's attention, so I'm gonna second your motion to approve this.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner McFarland?
I was just gonna make a comment. I visited this property out of curiosity the other day. It just appears to me that these people should be grandfathered in to use this property. If that corrects the use of it to be the A1 industrial or whatever, I think we ought to approve it.
Well, to be clear, they're requesting to go to an I-1 zone district that would allow the contractor storage yard as a use by right. The grandfather status was effectively burned when the property lines were modified.
Long.
I just want everybody to be clear, you were zoning it to I-1, not A1. Right. Okay.
Do I have a motion in favor of by Commissioner Scruggs, a second by Commissioner Ash? Do I have any other discussion on this rezoning? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous. Tom?
The next item on the agenda, if you'll give me just a moment, is a request being made by Paul Crockett, representing Gene Jones, to rezone property owned by Gerald Dean and Kathy Dean from A1 agricultural to R1 rural residential. The property is located on Murfreesboro Road and is referenced as Wilson County Property Map 136, parcel 27.01. The property contains approximately 6.75 acres. And this one went to the County Regional Planning Commission and comes to you with a recommendation of approval from the County Regional Planning Commission.
This is in Commissioner Robinson's district, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments from you? Seeing none, I got a motion. Okay, so I got a motion and a second already on the floor. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous. Tom, thank you, sir, as always. You got
Mentioned, I did leave each of the county commissioners a memory stick on your desk. That is sort of a welcome to the Planning Commission and the world of local government and land use and zoning. It's got our zoning ordinance on it, our subdivision regulations, several maps that may be of interest to you, including a countywide zoning map and an active subdivisions map in the county, as well as our land use plan and our recently updated county comprehensive plan. So, yes, that's correct. It's good bedtime reading for some, and if any of you would like a hard copy, I'll be glad to print it. I just wanted to save a few trees if I could.
anything else?
No. Thank you.
Anything else to come before the body? I need one more motion. All in favor say aye. We are adjourned.